So really it started with my father getting sick. So he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and everything that he was getting done was not making him better. He was just getting sicker and sicker. Then he had surgery, and the surgery was supposed to, wipe out all the cancer because, it was supposed to cut it all out, but it didn't. And then he went on chemotherapy, and the chemotherapy was making him sick. And I was just like, there's gotta be a better way. So at that point, I really started just looking into herbs and nutrition, how to change his nutrition, how to change what he's eating, and things that he's actually feeding his body. And so that's really where it started with my dad's diagnosis, because I got to really interact with him and his physician. Mm-hmm. And that was very appalling to me, in all honesty, because I just saw how callous the relationship was. Not necessarily that, my father and his physician didn't get along. My dad didn't have an enemy in his life. You know what I mean? So it wasn't my dad. It's the fact that either this one particular doctor was probably maybe getting burnt out. I don't know. He's seeing everybody dying, I don't know. But it was just a really callous interaction. More or less like, okay, there's something else I can do for you. I'm going to check you off my list because I'm done with all the remedies that I have at my disposal. So you're basically going to die. And that was not comforting. Wow. Right, not comforting from several different levels. One, from being a daughter, having to listen to somebody tell that to your father. Two, being a physician and having another colleague, talking to a patient in that manner I was in shock, basically. So, those things just sort of compounded on top of each other, made me want to find out more stuff. And then in my search for more stuff, I was finding more stuff, and I'm like, nobody told me about this. Why didn't I hear about, different things that we can do to treat cancer and literally treat cancer? You know what I mean? Why didn't I hear about things that you can take, as far as foods to help boost up your immune system? Nobody told me that. So I got really sort of angry because at some point I felt that the $100,000+ that I paid for a degree was just about useless. So I'd already graduated medical school. I was in residency, transitioning into fellowship. So I already had, some years of experience, behind me, understanding what good patient care is, at least from what I was taught, and then seeing bad patient care. So a real eye-opener, rude awakening from my standpoint. It led to me understanding that there's a role for allopathic medicine, obviously, right? If you break your leg, you can't rub echinacea on it or, I don't know, whatever, oil, you know what I mean? Yeah, arnica gel is not going to fix your broken leg, right? So for like big traumas, I'm thinking to myself, big traumas, if you need a surgery, for sure, you need to see somebody who can fix you up, right? However, and not all physicians I put into this box, right? But a lot of my counterparts sort of practice, how can I put it nicely? I want to say cookbook medicine, right? So they say, hi, Mrs. Jones, your blood sugar is high, you have diabetes. I'm going to start you on the latest medication. I'll see you in 3 weeks. But why does she have diabetes, right? Why is her pancreas not working? Or why is her pancreas working, but other things in her body are not working? We haven't been taught to really go down to find out what the source is. But we know how the body works, right? So yeah, I took anatomy, I took physiology, I took biochemistry, so I know how all the body works. But when it comes down to the industry of medicine, because it is an industry, allotting you 15 minutes with a patient, you can't sit down with Mrs. Jones and say, okay, let's really drill down on this. What have you been eating? What have you been exposed to? Going down the whole list to really find out why your blood sugar is high or whatever the problem is going on. So unfortunately, the industry has created just a rat race. And unfortunately, we are piling one medication on top of another medication on top of another medication, creating more problems and not fixing the real issue. So, I learned how the body works, but I wasn't taught how to make it work without a medication if something's wrong with it. So at that point, realizing that I missed out on something, I really started to do my own education, basically, to say, okay, if somebody has a problem, what caused the problem? Or what could have been one of the causes of the problem, and attacking it like that instead of just putting a Band-Aid on.